Hello, this is Chiak. We are back again with another set of a Stroke of Fate Operation Valkyrie. We're going to head to the airfield where Mayer has sent a squad to detain a certain person. You have anything to say? Nothing. I just wanted to say hi. Okay. Schopes has been taken away by the Gestapo. I guess he shouldn't have been reading Karl Marx. Haha, la la la. Anyway, so the bomb is prepared. Doesn't know how to get past guards. Okay. Schopes has been taken away by the Gestapo. I understand that now you will replace him.
Yes. That's how it will work. Now I'm stuck with his shift as well.
Oh, calm down. We dealt with all the problems that we are facing us. Are you prepared to send the Führer on his final and very warm... I hope you're not saying this out loud, really loud, because there is an officer outside this door.
Yes, I'm ready. He won't survive.
Don't let me down. Good luck.
Old Friedrich doesn't need luck. All he needs are his hands and his eyes.
Now I have only to call Hefner. The rest will be decided by fate. I have done everything I can. Okay.
Certainly. Very well, Herr Mayer.
And with that, is everything done
Hello,
here?
Is this the office of General Stryker?
Yes, this is his aide.
And Standartenfuhrer Mayer again. Gestapo.
Go on.
Operation complete. You may begin the experiment.
Very well, I'll tell the general.
The line went dead, and I hung up. I had taken the last step along the path. There was nothing more I could do. Everything went just as we expected. Schoss was ordered to make a pre-flight check, and he put the bomb in one of the Ju-52 compartments. Hitler came an hour later, accompanied by several bodyguards. Suddenly, the Führer looked back and said something to a nearby officer. Then he started climbing the steps once more, and at last, the door was closed. The bomb exploded as the plane flew over the countryside. It fell upon a factory, breaking through a concrete wall. Hefner arrived at the crash site and immediately began to search. Lying in the debris was a small, puny man covered in blood. It was Hitler. The great arch of lies and fear had lost its keystone. It was all about to come crashing down. This act of vengeance and redemption would allow the world to turn the page. It was the starting point of a bright and peaceful future. But why was the Führer's skin so wrinkled? Why was he wearing an old shirt underneath an expensive jacket? And those false teeth? I discovered the full truth only after the war. At the time, all I knew was a few lines printed in a newspaper article. The Führer has arrived in Berlin on his personal train.
Okay, interesting. They meant this to be a series, it looked like. The way that ended, but clearly that did not take off. So, okay, what do I have to say about this game? I can definitely understand its mixed reviews. I had quite a few issues with this game. Well, one, I don't know how much, because I knew the game had mixed reviews, I'm not sure how much that affected my judgment while playing the game. I think one of the things whoa, music, you're real loud. One of the hardest things I found with this game is that I almost had a real suspension of disbelief, I guess. And it's like, it's something you get on all games. You're like, oh no, why can't I get past this crate? Because game logic. But in this case, it's just like, why couldn't some of the things that Meyer has to do just to get, like, the one thing that annoyed me is that Hefner wouldn't talk to Meyer unless he got the tickets. It just seemed just such a silly thing. And it kind of took me out of the experience of playing this game, because it just seemed like such a dumb thing to reason why we couldn't. This guy, your life is possibly at risk, but you want to get tickets. Another thing is the character accents. It's kind of, you have the British accents, and the majority of it I think was English, but then you have like a random British accent there or something else. And I think I agree. I read somewhere someone says like maybe they should have done just a German accent, or at least keep it all the same or something. It seems odd, though, especially with that girl's secretary's Victoria's comment. That was like, oh, those English or Yankees, blah 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 blah. I'm like, you are speaking like a Yankee. I don't think that counts. Just gonna go back to the beginning, right? Yeah. So I think I have to say, in terms of cons or some negatives of the game, this game really, really lacked in terms of guidance of directions for the players. It's either that, or if it's lack of it, or it's just very, very vague. I found a lot of times I'm going around. Well, that's the thing with adventure games. You go around and you get stuck. You click on everything to see if there's anything you missed. But even, you have games like Art of Murder, where the main character, Nicole, will say something, and it's like, okay, so this is the next mission objective. And I think that's the main thing this game needed, because there's a lot of times where I'll finish something, but I had no clue what I was supposed to do next. Another thing I noticed is that there's certain elements where, like, the poison, that was one thing, because the only reason why I made the poison, I knew you could make poison, but I didn't know when you needed it. But the only reason why I could make poison was because why I made poison was because of the walkthrough. It told me to make poison. I'm like, okay, but I'm curious if I played the game, didn't know that I had to make the poison, and then met up with what's his name? Was it Frederick? No, not Frederick. There was the dude, the dude we're supposed to be working at, the spy, when we were spying on the general's house. But I'm not sure if I showed it, but when he tries to exit, he can't get out, and then Meyer goes back and asks Klaus why he locked the door. So I'm wondering, if I didn't have the poison with me at the time, would it have let me leave to make the poison, or would I have been stuck in this room? And it's annoying because it seems like such a dumb thing to get stuck on during the game. And like, if you didn't save, you would have to start off right from the beginning all over again, just to make it to that point, making sure you make the poison this time. Otherwise than that, voice acting wise, it's mediocre, bad to mediocre. I like the guy who voices Meyer. I liked him just fine. He has a very, I don't want to say monotone. It doesn't. I guess you could say monotone, but then for me, it fit. If you're watching the series, you already know how much I did not like the voice actress for Victoria. And especially when you got someone with that amount of dialogue, you get a good voice actor or something. In terms of pros, I think this game has a great setup in terms of the history and just the general atmosphere that's happening in the game. And I actually quite like the character, particularly in the beginning part. You have this variety of characters that turns out everyone in the office was a conspirator. Just Meyer was out of the loop, or he was very late to the loop. otherwise than that, so overall, I like the story. I like the story, the potential of the story, and the atmosphere and the character. But I think the execution of this game in terms of its mechanics and in guiding characters to what the next objective is was lacking. That said, I wasn't aware that this was because because it's said to be continued, they were expecting some success with this game, and they were making it into a series. But unfortunately, yeah, it did not end on the good note. It kind of though. I mean, at the same time, if you know Hitler, if you know your World War II history, unless I'm getting completely wrong, Hitler committed suicide, didn't he? So in this game, if they were to continue on with it, was it just going to be continuations of continued failed assassination attempts until Hitler committed suicide, or is it Hitler's suicide not really an accident? But yeah, I think that's all that there's left to say of this game. I'm mostly just taking up time now because just to make the set longer. But this was a stroke of fate, Operation Valkyrie. Definitely not one of my favorites. It's a fun game to play in terms of if you really like kind of these little tidbits of World War II history. I don't know how much of it is accurate, particularly the Führer's train in the car, the kind of procedure in terms of getting him to places. And there's that one woman who likes to take the tattoos from people's flesh and make it into decorative decorations. How wonderful. But this is the end of A Stroke of Fate. I do not know what I'm going to do next. I kind of want to do Nancy Drew or Sherlock Holmes or something, or maybe I'll do something else. But until next time, guys, see ya!